out to you if you guys don't know him already. Islander from he has his own YouTube channel. He puts out a lot of great videos, and most people in the community recognize him as a YouTuber that's brutally honest. He'll always you know, shoot you straight and tell you if he likes something or doesn't like it and why. So he's a very good guest to have on a show like this to bring some unbiased perspective. He's also an Android player, so there could be some minor differences between the platforms, and since I'm on iOS, I'd really like to get some representation from the Android community here as well. But let me turn it over to him. Let him say hello to y'all.
Hey guys, how the hell are you? This is Islander Boys. xCHIEFx, I want to thank you very much for bringing me on to your podcast. I hope y'all can hear me pretty good. We are on Discord. Sometimes we do get a little interference, so if I start talking and I sound like a robot or I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, y'all make sure you let us know so we can try to make some modifications if we need to. All right, it is a pleasure being here with you guys. Love all of y'all. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel.
Hey, Becky, good to see you on with us again. And the topics for today that we're going to be discussing are kind of a general overview, some different hangar setups, some maybe some things that we can share, some of the things that we like or we look for in different circumstances, and then you guys can share some of your ideas for different hangar setups. And then the more specific thing that I really wanted to talk with you guys about is the current meta. Like somebody already mentioned in the chat, that the meta right now is 5 Ares. Well, sort of, and I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the meta is something that always changes. Each time there's new content brought out to the game, there could be changes to the meta. So hopefully we'll take a look at where we are with the meta right now, and where we might be going with it possibly in the future, because there are some things that still need to settle in, and there are a few more changes coming down the pipe. So that's kind of what we'll be covering, and as always, the more you participate, the better the stream can be. So if you guys want to share your thoughts, your ideas, whatever it is, this is the place to do it. So Islander, I kind of like to start with the general topic usually on these streams, and then work our way towards the more specific stuff. So I know you do a lot of free-for-all in your videos. I think almost everyone.
Yeah, I do a lot of free-for-alls. Free-for-all is generally a mod that I like when I'm not rolling with my boys, and I love rolling with the guys. But with the amount of work that I have compacted in real life, free-for-all seems to be the mode where I can jump on, get a game in here and there, and be able to, if I have to leave or something happens, I don't leave my team stranded out in the cold, being down a man. So I do a lot of free-for-alls now. And it's pretty decent in the fact that you don't have a team backing you up. You don't have the support of 5 other killers to come in here, and you made a mistake, it's no big deal, because the guy behind you is just brutal. Okay, you don't have that out there. You're on your own, and so I generally like to run the Pursuer. Those of y'all that see my channel, and the Heishi. I like to use the older meta bots and try and take on the new meta bots that are coming out and find ways to beat them. That way I can extend that to the viewers that, not everybody's going to have an Ares. Not everybody has an Aljun. Not everybody has an Invader, or now the Fenrir and the new bots of the current meta. So how can we use these older bots that we do have to counter these bots? And that's what I generally like to focus on when I'm running free-for-all. Now I do get the request, can you run this bot or that bot? And try this. Well, I made a bad mistake a while back, was to sell off all my older bots during the Spectre meta, to acquire silver so I could upgrade the Spectres, because I thought the Spectre meta was just going to be it, and how quickly that changed.
Yeah, and, me personally, I wasn't playing the game back when, well, I guess I started playing it when the Spectre meta was kind of in full swing, but more at the tail end of it. Um, but I kind of like I appreciate the videos that you do where you're showing some of the older bots and how they're still useful, especially in those one-on-one or 1v2 situations in free for all. Um, and in free for all, I think it also shows, I mean, there's a different meta in free for all than there might be in like Beacon Rush or Team Deathmatch. I think each different mode might have slightly different metas, but I think with free for all, it's probably a little less or a little less forgiving. As far as what bots and weapons you choose, because you have a very specific task you're trying to accomplish there. So, like what kind of, I don't know what kind of, I know the Heishi is, and the Pursuer is like your thing, and I think I've seen, usually it's a shotgun setup on the Pursuer, right? And
Right.
the Heishi is, I think you use your Scourges a lot on there. Now I mean, is that like the kind of thing that you're looking for? I mean, is there anything you kind of, you know, uh,
I am going to be moving more to a few more of the shotgun weapons. I do run Scourges on the Heishi, and I also run Scourges on my on the Ares. Okay, but I'm going to be kind of like sliding off on the Ares, moving to the Coronas or these new energy shotguns that we have. They seem to be very effective. One good part about FFA, if you're playing FFA, okay, or not actually just FFA, but any mod that you're out there playing, is if you're running a certain setup, okay, and when I do run my Ares, uh, how do people beat me? Okay, and I'm very tactical on the way I play, especially when I'm running with the clan. And if somebody can you know, that just completely outplays me, they school me. Generally, I'll be recording a few games at a time. I'll go back and I'll watch that recording about 100 times, just studying exactly what that guy did. And it's not that he got lucky or it wasn't just he outplayed me that one time. There are particular players out there, and one of them is a guy named Fire. He is also a YouTuber, and the guy has just got skills that are ridiculous. Okay, and now he's upgraded his bots of weapons, and he's got crazy skills. So anytime I come across him, I can generally pick him out, even if he's an FFA. Even though I can't see his name, I know it's him just by the setup and the style of play. And when I do go against him, I love to watch the recording afterwards, because I will mimic or imitate or add his style of play to my style of play just to improve it a little bit. The as far as going into the other matches, free for all. I mean, not free for all, but Beacon Rush. That just all comes down to your team play and how you will operate today. The meta right now is on the Ares, and this new Ares train that's going on that is just ridiculous. You got an Ares train, and if you don't have a team or your own set of Ares to counter, you're gonna have a really hard time defending or defeating this with those infinite. I mean, with those shields that take no damage. And as soon as one goes down, the next guy's coming in, and they just rotate one after the other, moving into your space. So you got to have a counter for that.
yeah, and I know the Ares train is really frustrating. I run into it. I almost exclusively play Beacon Rush, and it's I pretty much only squad with my clanmates or some close friends, and that is it's a frustrating meta. And with like the somebody was in chat was I think it was a Viper was mentioning the Talamba Spectre right now is seems like a really strong bot, and it kind of is. And I've noticed recently that Talambas might be hitting a little harder than they were before. I don't know if there was a secret boost or anything like that, or maybe it's just because the Trident nerf was so big. But really, it seems like the Talambas are kind of replacing the Trident campers as far as this for the splash. But yeah, they can do quite a bit of damage. But it seems like the meta changes ever so slightly with every new release, and like they were full swing with that that Spectre with, I mean, people running 5 Spectres in a hangar, and you know um, every update the Spectre seems to get just a little bit weaker, just a little bit weaker. But now we're seeing it with those Ares, and it's almost undefeatable. To you get 3 or 4 Ares running that that uh, that Ares train, and I mean it's tough to break it up unless they slip up, and that doesn't happen too much, and the top clans play. So um,
Right, exactly.
but at the same time, you see these guys running 5 Ares. They're asking Pixonic to nerf the robot. I mean, if anybody throws, the same robot 5 times in a hangar, and it's, kind of like the thing to do at the upper levels, it's going to get nerfed. And, and
Yeah, I normally get a lot of feedback from subscribers, and I'm very in tune with the players, not just in my general you know the comment section, but a majority of my subscribers, I open up my Facebook to them, and this is my personal Facebook, and they come on in, and I get messages on the daily, all day, and I hear some incredible ideas. And one guy came up, and this guy's a fantasy football player, and he kind of threw the whole fantasy football loop into it, saying, okay, let's give each bot a value, like each player would have a value, okay, and you can acquire up to so much value in one hangar. Okay, so if let's say you have 500 points, just for argument's sake, and your Ares is 175 points. Okay, you add an Ares, you just chop that down, so now you got 200 and or whatever the math is. Y'all know that my math sucks, so we're not going to go there. But now you have less amount of value to distribute amongst the other 4 slots. Now, if you put 2 Ares in there, now you got to add in 3 very weak bots to offset the heavy calculations that you put in there with the Ares. Because that two Ares right there would accumulate to almost 350 points out of 500. Now, how are you going to separate? And that was a pretty neat idea. Would Pixonic adopt something like that? I doubt it very seriously, because people do invest a lot into their hangars and a lot of grind time. If you're a grinder, if you're a paying player, you purchase your bots or whatever you do, and you want to use them. Okay, but that was one idea that I thought was pretty neat. If there was a value system, of course, the only ones that are going to hate it, are your heavy wells that run 5 hangars. I mean, 5 Ares in one hangar, and you have a whole squad of them doing that. It's going to be tough to beat them. It really is. You got to have something that's going to get inside of that shield, and that's one thing that I do love about my Super Pursuer. I do run it even with my squad. That I'll jump into the train of our Ares train, and they're coming at us with their Ares train. I'll find my opening to sneak into that shield and just unload havoc. If I could put 1 or 2 of those bots into the last stand module being activated, we did good. We're going to go ahead and defeat that train.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good tactic that some players might use. I'm sure there's a lot of different tactics that players have slowly adapted to as the longer we're in dealing with the Ares, the more tips and tricks we're kind of finding to defeat them. I mean, I think there's a new video they were advertising in-game messaging how to beat an Ares from Predator. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't scream that a bot is OP, then what does? I mean, the game itself is even promoting videos specifically how to beat an OP bot. Just real quick, Kitty, Dominic, a few others, Togi, you guys snuck in there. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Let's see. Sorry, losing my train of thought here. But yeah, we're kind of talking about the Ares train. I know for a while people on iOS at least were kind of trying to break away from the Ares train a little bit. They were experimenting, obviously the Hellburner was there and going full effect, and then they switched that over to the Ares, and then they started mixing in the Invader, and for a while there the top clans were all rolling down even the starting bots with, you know, 5 invaders, coming at you, and there's really not a lot you can do to take them out. But then they went right back to the Ares train. Um, yeah, I mean, there's something there, and we're kind of talking about meta and Hangar setups all in one here. But yeah, it's tough to get past that Ares train, and I think that you hit the nail on the head, you know, until you're running it yourself. That's kind of the only way to beat it.
Yeah, it comes down to fighting fire with fire, and and if you don't have those particular bots, then what are you going to do to get past them? Then there's only one way to get past them, is to get past that shield. All right, and that is kind of where I see they were headed with this new module that they got coming up. Okay, now you put something that cannot suppress you or something that cannot lock you down, as far as the module base, and now you're going to have bots that, especially there's the speed bots that I can see running that new module. If it does get past the test servers, running that anti-lockdown bot, and they're not going to be able to lock them down. You're not going to be able to suppress them. They will get inside of that Ares shield and deal out some serious havoc. A lot of people are saying that it's just another money grab by Pixonic, and it's just. But I can see where if they're not going to nerf the Ares, okay, or they're not going to do something to suppress the firepower that it has, or reduce the shield time that it has, then you got to have something that can be able to, you got to have something that's going to be able to counter that, all right? And an anti-lockdown button or module would be key there, because I could take off with you, go take off after you in a Strider or a Pursuer, and you cannot lock me down. That means I'm getting inside your shield whether you like it or not, and that's where you're going to see a huge rift. Okay, and you're gonna hear the Ares players screaming their heads off when this comes out, because they generally run, the Ares, and you don't see a single Ares out there that doesn't have some type of lockdown mechanism attached to it. So that when you try to go after them, if they can lock you down, then all they gotta do is back up about 50 meters and unload on you and totally ruin your mashed potatoes for that day. So that's why I see where the meta is currently going to be headed, as how they're going to be addressing the Ares.
And you know what? I agree with you on that 100%. Without the lockdown, the Ares would not be nearly as powerful as it is. Does it hit hard? Does it have a lot of firepower? Yeah, it sure does. But what kills the opposing players is when that Ares locks you down, your bot's gone. That's it. End of story. Just, you might as well just start thinking what your next bot's going to be, because very rarely are you going to be able to survive that. And they may or may not, actually nerf the Ares. I know everybody's calling for the Ares nerf, and I too am saying, yeah, the Ares is too strong. Personally, I don't even like running it in my hangar. Recently, the last few days, I've completely taken my Ares, out. I'm not using it at all. But if it's not the Ares, people are going to find some other bot, and they're going to find some way to exploit it, to not necessarily exploit, but maximize its capabilities, en masse to kind of run the battlefield. But with these different modules you mentioned that they're bringing into the game, and the new pilots, it's gonna be a whole different world, and they could be finding ways to nerf some of these OP bots, rather than nerfing them outright. maybe not give it the nicest, stuff for its pilot, boost up some of the possible counters to it, a little bit more through pilots or some new add-on module. The downside to that is it's going to cost you then to counter. So, you know,
Yeah, I mean, let's be real about it. There has always been uh, an OP bot, and I downloaded Walking War Robots back in the day. When the Rhino, all right, the Rhino was the OP bot, and it was just dominating on the field, and it was kicking butt, and people were running just like you see them running areas now. You had people running, 3 or 4 rhinos in their hangar. I had one of the first plans I joined says, uh, what are you going to run? Well, I didn't run. I had one rhino, okay, but I was running at that time the patent with the aphids, and I was able to get up over their shields and do some damage with that. Then I started running the trident with the fury, and that was just wrecking rhinos. And that's when you saw the meta kind of switch towards the trident at that time. Okay, so then the trident goes out, and here comes the lance. Okay, and the lance is the new heavy bot, and people start making the anti-lance to counter the the tridents, okay? But every meta since the beginning of this game, there has always been that one dominant bot that just takes over the field, and you're gonna see people running 3, 4, 5 of them, okay? And it has gone from the Rhino to the Lance to the Heishi, okay? You saw it when the dash bots came out. It was mainly the Heishi that was being run, and you had people running 3 or 4 of them. Then we jumped to the Spectres, and this is going to be the kind of meta that it continues to roll. Okay, there's always going to be that one dominant bot that just kind of eliminates everything else. And what are you going to do when you come across it? Okay, when the Pursuer came out, I instantly adapted the Pursuer. This was before the Spectre nerf, and even with the Spectre that had the speed and the longer time as far as stealth mode, I was still able to effectively take out, Spectre after Spectre after Spectre. Here comes the new meta. Okay, how are we doing it? I'm still doing it with the Pursuer. I'm still doing it with the Heishi, and I'm going to continue to roll those bots until they completely, either nerf them off the field or they're just no longer viable. At that time, I'll figure something else out. And whatever I get, whatever I know, the viewers know. I don't hide anything. I don't hold anything back. I don't, keep anything to myself. Anything that I learn, I share it almost immediately. If I hear it, you hear it, and that's the whole part of me doing the newsroom is to get everything out there that I know, everything that I hear is coming up. If it's a rumor, I'm going to tell you it's a rumor. It's a fact. I will let you know it's a fact. But there's always been that one bot, Chief. There's always been that one bot that just dominates a current meta time. And technically right now it is the Ares, okay, but the Invader is not far behind. Okay, you got an Invader out there with heavy modules. As far as the shield modules, he can sit there and take everything that Ares has to give, and that Ares better have an exit plan. Okay, it better have an exit plan when it's unloaded all its firepower, because that Invader is going to come right back at it. So that is also another counter bot for it. But like I said, not everybody has these bots yet. Okay, and that's where the frustration comes in. That's where the people getting really upset because they cannot beat these bots. And that's why when I do my free for alls, okay, well, by now everybody should have a Heishi and everybody should have a Pursuer, because these are older meta items. And what can we do with these bots to defeat the new meta?
Absolutely. There's always some kind of a counter, and that's the thing. The Ares probably has fewer counters than some of the other bots, which kind of lends to it being more OP. But you're definitely right about the Invader. I mean, Invader's a strong bot. I think a very typical meta hanger right now is either a Hellburner or Strider, or a Beacon Runner, or you can just forego the Beacon Runner altogether, and then you're looking at probably 1 or 2 tanks, which right now the preferred tank is the Invader. It's a beast. He's tough to take down. He could take all the firepower from an Ares and and just keep on going. I see the Fenrir kind of
coming.
yeah, he's coming, and don't forget, Pixonic likes to buff some of these bots after release, and I can tell you right now, I really see him getting at least a speed boost, and I wouldn't doubt he gets a shield boost as well. But he's yeah, he's biting into the invaders' playtime just a little bit already. And then you've got, you know, your damage dealers, which you know, for the most part is the Ares. You know, you've got Ares. Some people use pursuers. It's, you know, beacon capper and a damage dealer, and it's kind of cool that, you know, some of the older meta bots or the older series of bots can still be played today. There's a ton. I mean, I would assume that Android is similar. There's a ton of xCHIEFs still being played in Champion League right now, and that was a premier bot 2 years ago, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's still viable. People that you know, got it then, or you know, they get it now. However they get it, it doesn't really matter. You can make it work. You learn the skills to pilot it, and you can you know, make things happen. You know, Spectre. There's still a lot of them.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm gonna go touch the xCHIEF on you real quick.
Yep.
And I didn't record it, and I wish I was recording that day, but it was a free-for-all match, and I started my xCHIEF like I normally do, and I like to get 1 or 2 kills. 3 of them lucky, you know, 4 is magical, and if you get a godlike with your xCHIEF, it's just awesome. You know, it was just, the stars were aligning, the planets were smiling on you, the gods were there. It was just one of those great days. Well, this particular game, it was just one kill after the next kill after the next kill, and you know, I'd come across an Ares, and he was fighting with somebody else, and his shield just tended to drop right at the right time as I was turning the corner, and you know, I believe it was 13 kills later or 14 kills later, the match is over, and I'm still sitting in that first xCHIEF. You know, so is it a viable bot? It's still a very viable bot. You just got, you know, to conserve your dashes. You know, don't be dashing all over the place. You're gonna need them to get in and out of competition. And you know, but it's crazy how viable that bot is. Even though it's 2 years old, you know, it can still go in there. It can still compete with the Ares. It can still, if you have the right weapons on it, it can reduce an invader down to nothing in no time flat. You know, and I got video after video after video showing this these type of tactics that I use. You know, so those of y'all that have them, and you know, actually since I started posting those videos, I've been noticing a lot more xCHIEF Scourge setups out there. They've been coming in a lot, so it's very viable.
Yeah, and just real quick, touch onto some of the audience here. Hangley, Foster, okay. Dominic, Trick, Bill. Thanks everybody for coming on. And Dominic was mentioning, kind of back to the modules there, that modules are great, but they shouldn't have to be the, you know, one and only way to counter a robot like a Loki or an Ares. And that's a very true statement. I don't disagree with him. There are other ways to counter those robots, but they're situational. You can't always or reliably counter them without the modules. And you know, that kind of is what it is. You know, it's a game. They're going to make money. They got to have some kind of a feature that they're trying to sell to people that are paying their, you know, paychecks. But at the same time, you know, as a player, I absolutely agree. I shouldn't have to spend, you know, 3,000 power cells a day just to, you know, keep my head above water in Champion League. You know, it shouldn't be that way.
I could not agree with you more on that. That is a solid statement. You should not have to spend, you know, power cell. I mean, I would like to see a cap in the game on power cells. All right, you know, if you go into a game and you can use, you know, 100 power cells per game. All right, now you're not going to have people activating that power cell every 5 seconds or every time they engage somebody. You know, once you run out of power cells allotted for that game, all right, now you got to fend on your own. So now you're going to have I guess power cell conservation in a particular game. You know, it would throw more strategy and more cautious play back into it versus, oh, I got, 30,000 power cells and my poor competitor has, 2 power cells. Well, I got him all game long. He doesn't stand a chance. It's not a fair game. It's not a fair matchup. Okay. So I would like to see some type of modification to that. Will they do it? That's hard to say, but they got to find a gap between the paid players and the free players, or the grinders. I like to call them grinders because you got a lot of guys out there that just go out and just play this game and they earn all their stuff. And hats off to you. Then in between, of course, you got your pocket change players drop a little bit of coin, but they got to drop their whole paycheck. They're not going to spend their water bill on the game, but if they got a few extra dollars, that they drop them, pick up gold or whatever they do. But I would like to see some type of, limits, caps put on the game to where you can't just go out and just, completely dominate the game based on the amount of power cells you have in your bank.
Well, and I think that's a pretty good idea, either limit the number that you can use in a game or increase the ways to earn them, lower the cost of them. I mean, right now it's 1,100 gold for 3,000 power cells. And I'm telling you, I could burn through more than that in just one day when I'm, going hard and heavy in a full squad.
Right.
So, I mean, you're looking at 1,100 gold plus per day, and that doesn't count the boosters that you got to buy, which is a few hundred gold per hour to boost. And yeah, I understand these are all optional things, but if you're playing in the top end, you need that just because everybody else has it. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, if you don't have these things, you're already going into a match with a handicap, and it's just going to be that much harder for you. So I agree with you on that, 100%. Either put a cap on it, or make them dirt cheap, or start handing them out like like water. Do something.
Yeah, kind of like what they did in this event. And I got to give my hats off. Normally I have something to say in just about every update that we've had about Pixonic's, tactics, about the way they do things, and how the update starts off great and then just goes to total crap. And we've seen a pattern of that over and over again. This particular update, with the exception of the comment that they made on their live stream, that the more you play, the more you're going to win, and keep playing more and you're going to win more. And when the event started, it was 100 coins or 100 special delivery coins or tokens that you could win per day. Okay, that's not quite what they had said in their live stream, and that's right away I was like, damn, they're going to start their crap already, But as it kind of went through, and at least everybody got a minimum of 1 spin per day, which was a hell of a lot better than the lottery that we had recently had. Now, the lottery had awesome prizes, okay, but not everybody could acquire those prizes. In this particular event, the fact that everybody was getting at least 1 spin a day, and 400 tokens to start off with as a gimme to come in, and then when they added the arena where you could go out there and farm it, and I have one subscriber who messaged me, and when he was all said and done, he had acquired like 4,000 or 5,000 coins. I was like, are you serious? I mean, he was just grinding and grinding. He was just, man, he must have played nonstop. And man, I just won 18 straight, and I'm doing great. And then he ended up getting the Aries. He won the Aries on that, so he was real happy about that. And I was happy about the fact that Pixonic threw that in the arena at the very end. So, okay, well, you guys that want to play and win, here you go. Here's your chance. And that was pretty good. I would have liked to see him do that from the beginning. As far as here your set of tasks. Okay, you completed your task. Okay, here's a brand new set of tasks. You completed those. Okay, here's your next set. And you're playing. And keep in mind, just because the grinders are out there are not spending any money, okay, they are watching the video ads that come up, and we all watch our video ads. And everybody that watches a video ad is contributing to the bottom line of Pixonic, fair and simple. It is what it is. So everybody in some way, shape, or form is contributing to the bottom line of Pixonic to keep this business up and afloat and going. and it's going strong. But this was one particular update where I didn't see anything warmy. I didn't see anything sneaky on Pixonic like they did in the Hung Ball Lottery. Well, okay, here are all the badass prizes and everything is good as far as prizes. Oh, but you got to pay money to get in. You can't win. You can't win them. Yeah, that was shabby. It was sneaky. It was underhanded. I didn't like it. This particular one, everybody got a chance to win something, and I would say 99.99 of the people that message me also send screenshots of their Blaze or their Marquez or their Fenrir or their Tyree, or everybody seemed to have won something in this particular event. On that note, hats off to Pixonic. They did something good for the players. I say finally did something good for the players, and I'm going to give them 2 thumbs up. I'll be doing my final review on the update here pretty soon. But I did want to say that I was happy with this update versus from Halloween up to the Chinese New Year. It was just bad after bad after bad. So I was glad to see everybody take part in the event, and good to see a lot more smiling faces and happy comments versus the comments I normally get about Pixonic.
Oh, and you're right there. I agree with you. This was a great event, especially when you compare it to some of the previous ones. I keep up on most of the different social media platforms. I have, people that I talk to frequently. I look at all the posts. I see how people are doing, what they're winning. And you're right. I mean, they really did well with this event as far as the lottery. It was a great improvement over the Chinese New Year lottery that we had. Just the fact that you had the capability to realistically earn 1 free spin a day. And it seemed to me that most, I can't say everybody, because I'm sure there's people out there that didn't win any, full robots or full weapons, but I'd say most walked away from this event with something. And a lot of people with multiple things, without buying or spending.
Without buying, yes.
And that's the key. I mean, does everybody want the green Aries? No. Me personally, I don't want it. But a lot of people did want it, and some people, especially the free players, man, they can, pick up a couple calamities or pick up a, even if it's a nemesis, it's not the newest. But you know what? It's pretty damn cool. It's got a nice, cool paint job. It's themed with what was this Star Wars stuff that was going on, and
right.
It's cool. Got Foster on there. He got 2 calamities. There's it's great. The only thing that they did that was, I thought, a little bit shady, and it wasn't nearly as bad as most of the things that they usually do, and that was with the 3rd arena season, when they changed the payout.
The payout on the gold, yes.
They made it. I kind of understand why they probably did it, because people were straight up farming it. I mean, I was seeing posts of people making, hey, what's going on, Scania? Thanks for stopping in. I saw posts of people making 50,000 gold farming it. 150,000 power cells. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's going to happen, and that's probably why they had to do it. But the downside to it is, those guys that straight up free or casual players that only have 500-600 gold, you hit those a couple of unlucky matches, you're all of a sudden out of gold, because now you didn't finish number 1 and number 2. You didn't get enough to to continue farming.
Right.
So
and even in this arena, okay, I could sense frustration in players. I mean, I'm not speaking to anybody. We're just playing. But I would see guys that would just say, the hell with it. And I could see them starting to eject. It's like, why are you ejecting? I mean, you just cost you 100 gold to get into this match.
Yeah.
And you're gonna start ejecting. And I saw that pretty frequently throughout the last arena. And then I got some messages from I think Green Apple sent me one where They started off with a few hundred gold, and by the time it was all said and done, they got 8, 10, 12,000 gold in the bank. They took advantage of it, and they got the skills to go out there. And this arena was not for everybody. It really was not for everybody to go out there and if you were new to the game, you're going to go out there and get in the arena and take on seasoned players. You're not familiar with corner shooting. You're not familiar with how these particular bots operate, and you're just going to try to go in there and think you're going to clean house. You weren't. You were not. And I told that to a lot of my people that messaged me, and I'm not doing so. I'm winning 1 or 2, but then I'm losing 3 or 4. Well, don't get in there. Don't get in there. I mean, it was more geared towards the grinders of the community, and people that play the game a lot and could go out there and they had the necessary skills to finish 1, 2, or 3 when the payout was good. Or if they were going for the coins, finish 1, 2, or 3 and get a few extra coins for the special deliveries. But it was really not for everybody, although everybody could partake in it. But if you were a newer player, I would tell them, right, don't get in the arena. You're going to lose your gold, and you don't have a lot of gold to begin with. You've been farming it and saving it, and you got yourself 2,000 gold, and then you went in the arena and lost 2,000 gold. I felt his frustration.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and another thing that I think Pixonic did, and I'm not trying to toot their horn or anything like that. They do plenty of shady stuff. I'm not going to deny that. But for each season of the arena, just before the arena season, they had a skirmish with that same setup. So it gave you a few days to practice without having to pay gold before you drop the gold to go and do it in the arena. So I mean, I don't know if they did that on purpose. I don't know. Pixonic is probably one of the worst companies at giving detailed information to their player base, but it's I thought that was a great opportunity, and some people were able to take advantage of it because, just like you said, not new players, they're not familiar with those robots. We didn't play when the Heishi was the meta, or when the Lancelot ruled the land, and there's a specific set of skills that older players just they have from having experienced it. I didn't get it. I spent a few days in Gold League. That's it. So all of those early bots. That's the limit of my experience with them. But yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too deep onto this past event, but I'm glad that you brought it up because that kind of does push. They dumped a ton of new robots into the game. A ton.
Yes.
Whether you got it for free through a giveaway or you paid cash for it, it doesn't matter. They're there. There's a ton of them. A lot more than most releases, I think, for new content. There's a lot of them on the street, and there's a lot of people playing them. And is one of them, or more than one, going to make it into the next meta?
Yeah, I hear you. And we're going to see this game change a little bit more. The meta is going to continue to change. Particular items I would like to see change, and I'm going to go ahead and spin off just a little bit on what type of improvements I think Pixonic could make on this game. One, and this is the first one, is a very touchy item. Okay, I mean, not everybody's down with it, not everybody likes it, but I liked it. It did come to a test server. We did test it, and it did get the axe. That was the reload button. Okay, the reload button is definitely a good thing in my own personal opinion, and my opinion is not everybody's opinion. Okay, we are guys out there. Everybody has their own opinion on the game. So, but what I would like to see is that reload button reintroduced, okay, and maybe have, before you can hit that reload button, so you can be reloading every 5 seconds. It would be, you got to use at least 75% of your ammo or 60% of your ammo before you can activate a reload button. That's one thing that I would like to see brought back. Guys, y'all that are out there in your comment section, let me know what y'all think. Is it good for the game?
I don't know. I think it would be useful. I hate, I think it feels like more like poor design than gameplay function. Having to shoot an Avenger into a wall just you know to get a reload. Um,
or purges.
yeah, I mean, what's the point? It's kind of stupid. I guess it can go a little bit into tactic. You have to manage your ammunition, but isn't that what you're doing by hitting the reload button? You're managing your ammunition. Um,
Now you still got to wait the full count. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you're running your Avengers, okay, and it's a 10-second reload. Once you hit that reload button, you still got to wait 10 seconds. You don't get an automatic instant reload, and you get all you got a brand new clip. You got to If you hit the reload button and the reload time is 10 seconds, then you have your countdown. So you can't have somebody just reloading and have unlimited ammo.
right, and with weapons like Orkans, for example, that are already automatic reload, you don't need a reload button. I mean, so they wouldn't get one, right? I mean, because you don't
Right.
run out. I mean, it's always reloading that next shot,
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
so you're not gonna just. I don't think it. I mean, I think when a lot of players think of reload button, they think of some of these first person shooter games where you hit reload and all of a sudden your magazine is full and you go again. Um, I think it needs to stay with the different weapon mechanics, and I don't know. I think it's just silly that it's not in the game already. Um,
Yeah.
and
Uh, Go
some
ahead.
some things are also going to be changing with pilots. I mean, some of those pilots' functions are, you know, faster reload, the things that affect your weapons. So let's I think we need to keep that in mind. Meta is definitely going to be changing. Um,
Yes.
and we don't even know. I mean, just like they've shown over the last year, they only release information really when they're ready to tell us, and sometimes they have us test something, and we're sitting there saying, "Why in the heck is it like this?" And then a month later, we're testing something else, then it's like, "Oh, okay, now we know." Why didn't they just tell us that this was going to happen? But it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, meta's changing. Um, the new bots I see coming into the meta, the Fenrir. The Fenrir is definitely going to come into the meta, especially because of some of the proposed changes that are going to be coming down the pipe. I think having that damage resistance is going to be more valuable than having just pure health like the Invader has. Things
Right.
like the Death Mark. I think
Right.
damage resistance is going to be more valuable than just overall health. The Loki, man, super fun bot to play. Don't get me wrong, he's hilarious to play.
He looked like he's running the bathroom holding his butt cheeks together when he's not in the, when he's not in the slow mode. He has that funny little run, and his little hands are the guns are right there back behind his backside. And he looks like he's just squeezing his cheeks real hard, trying to get to the restroom. He looks hilarious, man.
Yeah,
I just won one actually. I just can't wait to do a little test server on him.
yeah, he's crazy fun to play, but man, he's not going to be a solo bot. He's not something you want in your hangar necessarily to solo unless you just strictly want it for fun.
Right.
Because his value really comes in when you're in that full squad and he's getting even more of a speed boost from all the different players in your squad. But even then, he's a little bit limited because of quantum radar, but there's also going to be some new active modules coming down the pipe, so there could be that could kind of go into fewer people running quantum radar. I don't know. We never really know how it's going to be, but I don't see him taking over the meta. But
Okay. Let's see what Michael Smith's got a question there.
yeah,
Bark button on the Fenrir. Yeah, it's gonna be one of the modules. So you can add it to your Fenrir. You can add it to any bot that you want to, and you can mark somebody for death and take that extra. Should the Fenrir be called the finesse? that partner, I don't know.
I
I
don't
guess you
know.
can call it whatever.
I call it
think
the
it's good
fat
with.
guy, the
I
fat
don't even
slow
know
guy.
what Fenrir is. So
So
the other thing I would like to see, and I brought this up in my most recent video, or the video actually I'm going to release. Some of the things I want to see change to the game. We have so many bots, Chief. So many damn options. We have slots in a hangar. You know, I would like to see 6 added, so you could throw one more there. Let's say you're running. I'm sure I have my this, that, this, but I kind of want to get the Alguang in there. But I don't have. I would like to see a 6 slot added to at least one of your hangars where you can add an extra bot, because the options for the I mean, the options that we have as far as is almost unlimited now. It was just a lot of them. And the fact that we're limited to 5 slots, I think a 6 slot there is really, really cool.
now, are you talking about you'd like to see a 6 slot that you can actually drop 6 bots in a match, or like a sixth, like a benched bot that you decide throughout your gameplay, okay, you can still only drop 5 bots in a match, but you have 6
Okay.
options.
Okay. Well, did you bring that up? And this was an idea that somebody had a while back. I would like to see 6 bots go into the game, but you know what? Did you give it from that angle? And I've heard that before, where I think a player said you can have up to 8 bots, but you can only use 5. That was an idea back then, and now that you bring it up again, having one bot on the bench. So if you go into a particular range map, well, maybe you want to bring a ranged bot with you. Okay, but if you're in a short map, of course, you want your brawlers in there. So I mean, maybe having one on the bench instead of being able to drop 6, just having the option to have that other bot there. Or in free for all, you would actually be able to play all 6 because you get the revival token. So you can choose that extra bot if you want to try it out.
Okay, so yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to playing 6 robots in a match, because I mean, that's that much more health on the battlefield, so
Yeah,
that much more silver,
exactly.
that you might be able to pull out of it. And I know with my play style, gosh, I'm mech'd out so quick, it's ridiculous. But I mean, I can't imagine what would happen if I got 6 bots to play with. And yeah, I mean, I think that would be great. I think they were probably, I'm guessing, along a couple of years ago, whenever they introduced, or maybe the game came out with multiple hangars, I don't know. But whenever they came out with the multiple hangars, it was probably a good idea at the time, and it really gave people a pathway to the different metas, because you have a long range meta, and you have a brawling meta, and you have a free for all meta, or during that time you had a TDM, you had Beacon Rush, Domination, and what was the other one? Gosh, what was the mode that they took out recently?
King of the Hill.
Yeah, King of the Hill. Yeah, you had Koth. So you had all your fast bots in there. And I think that was fine. They charged 7,500 goals. Open up another hangar slot. By the time you probably have that much, you've got your 5th slot already paid for, and it was fine, I think. But you know what? They were bleeding gold to the players at that time. I mean, you were able to win loads of gold in the old card flip game, or wherever, and people had the extra gold. But now, the only way to get gold pretty much is to buy it. 7,500 is a little bit too much for that other hangar, so they're taking those options away from us to adapt to the different metas. So, for those of us that are playing on platforms that can choose their mode, because I know computers still can't. They still can't choose their mode. They still have just the quick match, or whatever it's called. So but I have 2 hangars myself. Most people only have 1. It's tough. I wish I could have another hangar, that maybe set up. Maybe I would play free for all every once in a while if I could have a dedicated free for all hangar. But
Right.
I'm
I
not going to
agree.
spend 7,500 gold on it.
No, no. I ended up getting myself the second hanger, and I had for a while there. I had a range hanger, and I had my brawling hanger. But with the current meta that we're in, and with the addition of the dragon bots, okay, the the need for that range bot, the Fury Dragoon, you can close the gap on a Fury Dragoon or any range bot with those with Yao Jun really really fast. Once he goes up in the air, that heavy bot doesn't really have the mobility, or the ability to target him while he's in the air, flying back and forth, left to right, as that Ao Jun has, and it's kind of really taking the range bots out of the game. You see a lot less range bots than you did before.
Uh, I I'm I don't necessarily disagree with you. The Ao Jun counters ranged really well. Um, but man, I gotta say, at least on iOS, there's some matches where it's like just a range fest, and we still have that. Or if you're rolling solo, one of the main reasons I don't like to roll solo is because, man, I always end up with all the campers on my team. I'm telling you, Pixonic
I hear
only
you.
puts the campers on the blue team. Why can't they be on the red team? Let me go kill them. No, they're always on my team. But yeah, I mean they're going strong here on iOS still. That might be one slight difference between the two platforms. But I sure do wish that sometimes they would kind of start to go away a little bit more.
You know, that is something that they brought up, and now that you brought it up, before I cover the third thing that I would like to see added to the game was the merging of the servers. Okay, and this idea I completely love. I think this is the answer to a lot of the matchmaking problems. I think we merge the servers, and you have X amount of players in Champion League in Android, and you have X amount of Champion League players in iOS. Okay, and plus the amount of top tier clans that they would be facing off against each other. I think would be a great answer to the matchmaking problem. The only problem I really foresee, because we in Android have a serious problem with using hacks.
Yep, that's my
iOS,
only concern as an iOS
I think
player.
we have the exact same concern. Because you're gonna expose iOS players to some ridiculous, hacks that are out there. Shield, infinite build or unlimited jumps, Mercury.
Yeah, and I think you were kind of breaking up there at the end there.
Okay.
But
I was just saying the infinite shield or the Mercury that has the unlimited jumps every 5 seconds,
yeah.
or imagine that Mercury jumping the entire length of the field. You're on one side, he flies across 800 meters and lands on top of you. It's ridiculous. It's funny to see for a little bit, but it gets old really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen some hacks on iOS, but it's very, very rare. Very rare. I think it's just a harder platform to get the hacks through. Maybe it's a securities issue with the platforms. I don't know what it is, but that's my big concern. But I do agree. I think it would help Matchmaker. It would solve a lot of headaches that Pixonic has. It would probably create a few more, but I think the players would probably be a little bit happier. But I think matchmaking is going to be another topic that I'd like to cover kind of a little more in detail. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to convince somebody from Pixonic to join in on the show. That can actually talk a little bit about Matchmaker, even if it's just to tell us some of the basics. Because right now we're clueless.
Well, we did have a meta at one time, of course, and I thought it was good, but I was one of the very slim people that thought it was good, which where we were matching hanger strength. Okay, so if I'm all MK2'd out, okay, and the one problem that we did have with this, okay, was uh, well, let me go and finish it, and then I'll go into that. If I have all MK2 bots and weapons, then I should be facing guys that are MK2 bots and weapons, or at least a competitive hanger. He doesn't have to be fully maxed out, but he's got to have some some good bots and a hanger strength that is comparable with mine, so we can have a good even fight. Okay, and the problem, I didn't really experience it too much until the very end, was the wait time. Okay, it went from having a wait time of a few seconds to a wait time of 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Okay, that's where it got to be a problem as far as matching hanger strength versus hanger strength. And of course, this is something that you'll see come up a lot, especially in the Facebook or the social media part of it. Well, I'm level 8, level 9, but I'm taking on guys that are MK2, and it's not a fair fight. I cannot agree with you more. It is not a fair fight. But what is the solution? If you're going to go by hanger strength, then you have guys that have top bots of weapons waiting 8, 9, 10 minutes to get a match, 5, 6 minutes. Maybe I'm exaggerating with 8 or 9, but you're waiting a while before you drop into a match. Where the guys are in the lower tier dropping in the matches in seconds. And that's where Pixotic, I think, decided to come up with the whole league system. Okay, if you work your way up into champion and you're in champion league, then you are going to face other champions, regardless of what your hanger looks like. Okay, but there is a mismatch there. So what is the right calculation, or what is the right formula to fix this? I don't think anybody has a clue. You know what? To the listeners, to you guys in the audience, what do you think? What would be a good way to address the matchmaking? Okay, other than saying, well, you have MK2, sucks to be you, you got to wait. No, I mean, what would be a good idea? And I like to get my subscribers involved when I discuss stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Get your guys involved. And you and I, we're two minds together, and we come up with solutions. When you add another 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 minds together coming up with solutions, I'll tell you what, you can come up with solutions pretty quick. Some people out there have amazing ideas.
Yep, I agree. I completely agree with you on that. And just my thought on what you just mentioned. Just real quick, as far as the leagues, that was already in the game when I started playing, so I don't know exactly how it was before that, but I've played several other games, especially mobile platform games, that they use that pretty much identical league system. So I think that's just kind of a popular programming that goes into a number of games. I personally, I don't have an issue with how it's implemented, though I do think they 100% should consider hanger strength. Now, I understand people have multiple hangers, and they could put all Cossacks in one hanger. I'm sure that Pixonic has engineers smart enough on the payroll that can figure out how to prevent somebody from dropping into a Champion League match with, or trying to qualify for matchmaking with their Cossack hanger. I mean, right. They could figure that problem out, but they absolutely should consider hanger strength. And I think you were onto a pretty good idea, or maybe I think it was one of your subscribers that mentioned it to you, talking about the value system, of doing it. But how about, instead of saying, okay, you have 500 points and you have to split those 500 points between your 5 robots. If you want one really strong robot, okay, that's fine. You can have 1 really strong ones and 4 weak ones. Instead of doing that, why not just matchmake based on, go ahead, assign the value the same way, but don't put a cap on it. If somebody wants to have, 5 super heavy duty bots, whatever, because you know what, there's those players out there, that's what they're into, right? Or that's the big spenders, let them have it. But don't put those guys against somebody that has, 5 weaker bots. And I think the matchmaking system should, that it's cool to have these leagues. It gives some, a goal for people to work towards. That's cool.
Right.
I'm okay with that. But I think it should consider, matchmakers should always consider the person's league, and then whatever value, weighted value of their hangar with equipped weapons.
Okay. I'm let me intervene here real quick, okay? Because, like I said, I've been around almost since the beginning. I was here during the SEAL clubbing days, and unfortunately, I was the SEAL back then. I was just getting beat up on when I first came in. But back then, when we started, we had in the days of walking war robots, we had gold, bronze, silver, and gold leagues. Okay, and your bronze, silver, and gold leagues were based pretty much on your hangar strength. Now, let's say I got away from, I put all my rhinos away, and I put all my griffins away, and my Leos were tucked away, and I brought out 5 Corsairs. Okay, and that would automatically drop me into the bronze league. Okay, the problem that came up that aroused here, because I could drop my 5 Corsairs, equip them with Orkans at that time, which was a pretty powerful gun. Okay, and now I'm dropped, since my value was so low on my bots. I was dropped in with the new guys that were coming in. Okay, now these guys are running this tiers or whatever that new bot is. Okay, and yeah, I have a weaker bot in the Corsac. Okay, but I'm packing Orkan rockets on it, so it was immediately wiped out by the newer bot. Even if you had a patent or something else, those Orkans at that time were pretty powerful and would just eliminate the competition. And that was the problem, I guess, they ran into, is you could go down and farm gold, all day long with your Corsairs, taking on the brand new players of the game with an unbalanced, not an unbalanced hangar. Okay, just the weapon base itself was unbalanced, and giving the smaller bot the tactical advantage, pretty similar to a Spectre with Orkans. Yeah, it's a weaker bot. It doesn't have a lot of health. Okay, but it had a ton of firepower. Okay, and that would be pretty much the same deal, except it was only one little bot with only one Orkan attached to it. But the competition he was going up against, running spirals and and Molots back then, couldn't hang with these little Corsairs that they were jumping all over the place with these high-powered rockets.
Sure, but with the millions and millions of dollars and the 5 years of experience that Big Sonic has, I'm sure they could solve that issue if they wanted to. Even if they have to pay a few bucks to some consultant for some other game that has already figured it out, because there are games out there that have good matchmaking. There's always issues, but there are some games that do it pretty well.
Clash of Clans, I was right up there with them. I mean,
I don't care if you're,
I don't care right now if you're in Legends League or you drop all the way down to Silver League. If you have a Town Hall 12 base, because Town Hall 12 is where they're at right now. And I don't mean to get off War Robots, guys. I do apologize for a second. We're talking about matchmaking. But if I drop all the way down to Silver League, okay, and people do this to farm, you're still going to be taking on Town Hall 12 bases or Town Hall 11s. You're not going to be able to go down and compete with, Town Hall 8, Town Hall 7s, Town Hall, 6s, and just clean house with just using your heroes. You still got to go up against Town Hall 12 bases. I thought that's pretty cool. That's where
you go against other tankers or dead Town Hall 11 and 12 bases that have no resources. So,
now if you have tankers that are down in gold and silver leagues, then that is the particular player, where I would say put a value as far as the bots and weapons that he has. Okay, now you got guys that drop down to silver gold league, and he's got to wait 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes until they get another team of tankers. Guess what?
They're going to
He's going to get frustrated real fast, and he's going to climb right back up the ranks. He's not going to be sitting down there waiting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes to find a match. He's going to get frustrated real fast and find out, okay, I don't belong here. I don't belong in Gold League with my with my maxed out MK2 hangers with full modules. I belong somewhere else where I can find a match pretty easily. There, I can see a value system being put into place and causing frustration amongst the people that are causing frustration amongst the players.
I agree. I hope maybe somebody from Pixonic might tune in and listen to this. I know you send your feedback in. I send feedback. I know many of the other YouTubers send feedback. There's other the guys over at the Reddit forum. They're in touch with the community managers. So these, they're getting the feedback. It's just whether or not they're willing to implement some of these changes, and some of them might be technically difficult. But for the health of the game, I think they're going to have to do it at some point.
I do agree.
So I don't want to run this stream too far over the 1 hour time slot, just because I know most of the views are still coming from watching after the live broadcast. But anybody that is still watching in chat, if you have any specific question real quick before we look to wrap it up, anything having to do with hopefully Hangar Setups or current meta, or really, I mean, we kind of bounced around a little bit because anything with War Robot, it's hard to just stay on one topic because it all influences, if you change the meta, well, now you got to talk about the economy, because the economy helps drive the meta, the robots, how easy they are to get. So, but that's what happens with with discussions like this anyway. We kind of start with an idea, path we want to go down, and but we want to give you the best place to discuss things. Hey, Tad and Franz, Spectre Gaming, a few of the other guys. If I didn't call you out, seeing you in chat, I apologize. But if you have any questions, please, hey, shit, you're not. There you are. Somebody was asking about you. Feel free to type it in now, or after the stream, if you think of a question having to do with this, hit me up. I mean, most of you know I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook account and a page for my channel. I know Islander offers his for his subs as well. But feel free, put it in, even if you just write in the comments under the video after it's posted. I respond to every comment, so I will read it, and I will get back to you. And any question you might have, targeted for Islander, I will pass it along, and hopefully, maybe I can get Islander on, again in the future. This is kind of fun. I like kind of just shooting the shit with him, and didn't get quite as much, questions and stuff from the live chat as the last one, but it's still good. I know y'all are watching, and it's appreciated. Just look here, and if you got anything that you want to cover there, Islander, please feel free.
Yeah, I guess the last and third thing I was going to add was move that module button. I know we tested it once, it didn't go nowhere. For me, playing on a 12-inch tablet, it's not really a big problem. I've gotten to the point where I can avoid it. Guys that are playing on their cell phones, it's a huge problem still. So Pixonic, if you do catch the stream, bud, y'all need to move that damn activation button. Put it somewhere else. So that'll be the last thing I guess I wanted to add to it. Those of y'all that took the time to come by and join the stream, I really appreciate having y'all here. Chief, thank you for having me over. I really do appreciate it, bud. And I'm free just about any Sunday. Majority of the time, you want to have me back on, you just let me know in advance.
Hey, man,
I'll be more than happy to help you out.
That's much appreciated, brother. And I know you're a great asset for the community as a whole. I know you really get down and dirty, on your channel, and you keep it going. You open up your personal life, Facebook and messages and stuff. You do your best to just keep the community going and talking and sharing knowledge and answering questions and doing what you can, and that's much appreciated. Um,
Thank you.
and you know, I don't see any specific questions coming through on the chat, so I think that's probably going to be wrapping it up here. But once again, I appreciate everybody that checked in, anybody that catches the stream afterwards. You know, you got any questions, anything else, or even if any of you have any topic suggestions, things that you think need to be discussed, um, man, put it in the comments below. Let me know. I have kind of a rough outline for some of the topics that I would like to cover, but I want your input. This is, I mean, yeah, it's a show I'm doing on my channel, but it is for the players, and I want the viewers to be driving this bus. I want you to decide what we talk, the things that are said. I want to know what you think. You know, I mean, everybody can listen to this and find out what I think. That's fine, and I will always tell you what I think, always. And I do my best to not cuss too much. Doing it here live, but sometimes some stuff is just so stupid. There's no other word. And you know what? I'll go there. I got no problem going there. And I know Islander is brutally honest. He and that's one thing that you can count on from him always is his honesty. So hey Kimmy, thanks for catching the end of it here. Yeah, we're just closing up shop, but hey, you know what? The video should post up here in probably a couple of hours once it's done processing. So, take a look at it. And for those of you that did catch the video, and share it with your friends, your clan members, let people know this is an outlet for them. Okay? Get a hold of me. I'll see what I can do about getting your topics on. I do my best to reach out to the community and find people that I know that are respected, and I'm going to try to bring them on the show. That's what I do. I don't want to sit here and talk to you for an hour. I can do that when I'm eating ice cream, and I do that on Wednesdays. So, but hey, that's going to be it for me. Once again, hey, I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you have a good week coming up. And hey, I look forward to seeing you in the game.